Water is arguably the world's greatest asset. It is a resource that can be taken for granted, but it is the reason we exist. Without the hydraulic engineering brilliance of our ancestors, who harnessed this sacred resource, none of us would be here today. The ingenuity of human beings and their ability as engineers allow us not only to survive, but to thrive. Wright Paleohydrological Institute's mission is to further the knowledge of past civilizations through the study of ancient water management and practices.
WPI is a collection of water resources experts who have used their knowledge to conduct water resources research at more than 20 prehistoric sites. The impetus for WPI was a trip to Peru with Audubon, and our last stop was Machu Picchu. The Inca were masters of drainage and foundation engineering. I returned from the trip and asked Ken, how did the Inca develop a reliable water supply on the top of a mountain?
I was not sure, but I had some theories, and those ideas needed to be verified through fieldwork. In 1974, Ruth and I applied to the Peruvian Institute of Culture for a permit to conduct research at Machu Picchu.
In 1994, 20 years later, our research permit was granted.
Machu Picchu is an amazing site that was virtually left intact after the Inca Empire collapsed and the site was abandoned. We did research at 4 different Inca sites.
We studied water supply and drainage. We created maps, including helping National Geographic with a map. We discovered lost Inca trails and unburied Inca fountains that flowed again after we cleared away the debris.
Without the use of steel, the wheel, or the written language, the Inca were able to design infrastructure that not only lasted 500 years, but is also functional and beautiful. The fountains still work, canals can still carry water, and the walls continue to majestically stand.
Machu Picchu was the prototype for most of the research we do.
Our colleague Wayne Lorenz took the WPI techniques and approach to Italy.
Our research in Pompeii and the Naples Bay region has examined the water supplies from mountain springs, the design of aqueducts, the design of water distribution and water features, all with the scope of dissecting the question of how Romans, some 2,000 years ago, effectively transferred water across the landscape. The accomplishments of Roman engineers were quite amazing, given the resources available and workable landscape. Without the tools that modern engineers use every day, like computers and GPS surveying, the Roman engineers could carry a minimal slope in a water channel over many, many miles. The Romans had indoor fountains and latrines that were flush with fresh water, and of course they had their famous Roman baths. The beauty and sustainability of their creations are unmatched. WPI's contacts directly support the Institute's research and success in producing publications, creating relationships with local experts, obtaining permits, and being present and active in the research. The principles that were used by Roman engineers are the same principles that junior engineers starting out in an engineering firm today need to know. This is early 20th century, and that concrete is already deteriorating compared to the Roman concrete that has lasted 2,000 years. Over the past 20 years, I've had the privilege to give educational presentations at high schools, universities, and professional conferences, including the Society for American Archaeology and the San Juan Basin Archaeological Society. It is thanks to WPI's financial supporters that we can perform the research and share our knowledge.
WPI finds a unique intersection between water engineering and science, archaeology, and the social sciences that helps to preserve and better understand our world heritage. At the same time, this work helps to elevate cultural awareness and pride through work with local experts and resource managers, as well as public outreach that WPI conducts. Restoring and protecting these important sites provides a sense of cultural pride for the descendants of these ancient civilizations. I've worked on about a half a dozen projects on paleohydrology around the world, including in Cambodia, Thailand, Peru, and even in Iraq. I manage WPI's projects related to historical preservation, and I work with organizations including the World Monuments Fund and the National Trust for Historic Preservation. I first started working for WMF in 2011 when they reached out to Ken Wright for assistance with drainage on a temple that they were restoring known as Nam Ba King. Nam Ba King is one of the oldest temples at the Angkor archaeological area in Cambodia, and we helped WMF with some drainage and erosion work. A lot of the work that I have done over the years is related to preserving our cultural world heritage at sites that are at risk from flooding, poor drainage, and climate change.
A lot of them don't drain very much at all, but the bedrock's very shallow. So these are the areas that are draining out to toward the east stairs. And then this is the flow path on the other side of that building.
Restoring and protecting these important sites provides a sense of cultural pride for the descendants of these ancient civilizations.
The significance of the Wright Paleohydrological Institute's works is the contributions that we make in the understanding of ancient engineering practices and how ancient life was improved. We learn lessons from our research that we can apply to today's changing world. WPI's future is to continue to provide knowledge to engineers and scientists to promote ideas and creativity and excitement in their work to address the engineering and scientific challenges that we face.